responsibility.
All right. Okay, I'll take it.
During controversy.
We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry. I started Facebook, I run it, and I'm responsible for what happens here.
He said it's not enough to just connect people. Zuckerberg acknowledged that some bad actors have used Facebook's tools for improper purposes. The Facebook founder said his company is working aggressively to prepare for November's midterm elections. He stressed that Facebook is more keenly aware of efforts to spread misinformation on social media platforms. The White House is playing down speculation about the future of special counsel Robert Mueller. At a daily briefing, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said President Trump believes he has the power to fire Mueller, but didn't suggest Trump is leaning toward the move. Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort is being denied bail once again.
A U.S. District Court judge handling one of the criminal cases against Manafort sent in an order Monday that Manafort fell short in securing the $10 million bail amount set in his money laundering and unregistered foreign lobbying case. Manafort has been under house arrest since his first court appearance last October. The judge refused to accept two properties owned by Manafort as part of the bail package because they are connected closely to pending bank fraud charges against him in a separate case. Manafort has pleaded not guilty to charges brought against him in special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
The defense is making its opening statements today at Bill Cosby's second sexual assault trial in Pennsylvania. Prosecutors opened the trial yesterday by noting the 80-year-old Cosby paid Andrea Constan nearly $3.4 million to settle a civil lawsuit. Constan is a former employee of Temple University, where Cosby was a trustee in 2005. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Hi, this is Jonathan Friedman. You might know me as the host of Talking Sports on WCTC, but I do have a day job. I'm the Business Development Director at SCG Advertising and Public Relations in Parsippany, and I'd like to tell you about how SCG can help advertisers reach their potential customers in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world. There are so many options, from all the traditional media to the practically limitless digital and social platforms that are available, making it harder than ever for businesses to get their message in front of the right audience. Well, at SCG, we help our clients strengthen their relationships, reputations, and brands by integrating their message across the entire media spectrum. We understand the options available to advertisers, and we will work with you to determine the best creative and media plan for your business. To learn more about SCG Advertising and Public Relations by visiting scgadv.com. That's scgadv.com. We'll help you reach your potential customers, all of them.
Right now is the perfect time for you to join Retro Fitness's North Brunswick, Hillsborough, Manville, or Raritan locations. If you're a local resident at least 18 years of age and a first-time visitor, you automatically qualify for a free 3-day VIP Fitness Pass. Come to Retro Fitness for a free personal training consultation. Meet the trainers in person and let them show you what you can achieve. You'll train on top-of-the-line equipment, one-on-one personal training, access to the Retro Blend Smoothie Bar, child sitting services, the cardio movie theater, group classes, and tanning at over 150 Retro Fitness locations. Spring is here. Are you ready? All month long, April showers bring big savings at Retro Fitness. Come in and pick an umbrella to find up to 100% off enrollment. Join and upgrade to VIP membership and get a free month. Or join any Friday in April and get a free month. Offers cannot be combined. See club for details. Retro Fitness. Hillsborough, Manville, or Raritan. Get your child off to a great start with personalized, all-inclusive tutoring and test prep services for K through 12 students. Help your student with end-of-year test prep and SAT2 prep with C2 Educate, which has 20 years of success with SAT and ACT prep, plus college admissions counseling, helping students do on to receive grants and scholarships for college tuition. Plus, plan now for summer boot camp. Visit C2Educate.com. That's the letter C, the number 2, educate.com. The boys are back in town. Jersey Boys is back where it belongs. And tickets are on sale now. Sure, they were born in Jersey, but they were made in America. Jersey Boys. Visit JerseyBoysNewYork.com.
Checking WCTC traffic. An accident in East Brunswick still on Riders Lane southbound near Milltown Road. Heavy delay still on Route 18 southbound Macon. You're waiting towards Old Bridge Turnpike. Parkway northbound busy 144 to 147. Food, water, medical care, education, and more is what you give to a child in poverty. Release a child from poverty at compassion.com/radio. Right now in New Brunswick, cloudy skies, 48 degrees. Susie Sorrow, WCTC traffic update.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. Cloudy weather tonight across the area, turning out mainly clear after some early clouds. It'll be chilly overnight. By morning, 30 to 35. More sunshine than clouds for Wednesday. It'll be milder with a high of about 55 or so by afternoon. Then sunshine turning breezy, 65 to 70 on Thursday. Ken Elliott on 1450 WCTC.
The opinions expressed during this program are solely the opinions of the host, guests, and callers. They do not necessarily represent the views of the advertisers, management, staff, or ownership of WCTC.
This is WCTC's Sound Advice, the local 1-hour program designed to give you the knowledge, information, and guidance to help you make better decisions in your personal and professional lives. Now, WCTC's Sound Advice.
Time now for Talking Sports. Here's your host, Jonathan Friedman.
Good evening, Central Jersey. It's Tuesday, and we're talking sports right here on the voice of Central Jersey, Talk Radio 1450 WCTC. I'm John Friedman. Dave Raish is on the other side of the glass. That's the voice you hear when you call the show. Dave, what's happening, buddy?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Lots to talk about in the next hour. You bring it, we'll talk about it. Give us a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-9282. That's 732-545 WCTC Ocean.edu. Also, we're streaming the show. Go to WCTCAM.com. Click on that red button and you'll get us on your mobile device, laptop, etc. and enjoy the show on the World Wide Web. And lastly, we're visually streaming the show on Facebook and on, if you look under Talking Sports on YouTube, you'll get us there. Lots to cover in the next hour, including the Devils open up the NHL playoffs on Thursday in Tampa against the Lightning. Chris Ryan, who covers the beat of the Devils for NJ.com, he'll join the show a little later. The Mets have gotten off to a terrific start. We'll look at that and the rest of Major League Baseball. Patrick Reed's amazing Masters Championship, the NFL Draft, the NBA playoffs, your calls, and a lot more. And speaking of calls, give us a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-9282. That's 732-545 WCTC. We are the voice of Central Jersey. Also, I'm holding a 4-pack for Somerset Patriot Baseball. We'll give that away to the fourth caller at 732-545-9282. So I want to start off the evening tonight, and although we're a few days away from this already, it happened, but I want to talk just a little bit about Patrick Reed's unbelievable Masters. And what I thought was unbelievable is that played so well on Friday, played so well on Saturday. It's got a 3-4 stroke lead going into Sunday. And what I thought was amazing, with a list of guys that are playing behind him, adding pressure to this guy, and McElroy on Saturday night during his press conference. And McElroy, by the way, is playing with him as part of his group playing. Basically was adding a lot of pressure, feeling that, hey, Reed's got all the pressure on him. He's got a lot of good, great players right behind him, 3-4 strokes back, and he could feel the heat. And it's a lot different on Sunday at the Masters with a lead. So, and at the end of the day, the guy just kept doing his thing. And what I thought was amazing, I can't remember if it was the 14th or the 15th hole. He had lost a stroke, only had a 3-stroke lead, went right down to the 14th or 15th. I can't remember. and got that thing in 3 hits under par. Then got it to 15 under, and from there on, you knew that he had control of the day, and it was just great. And the sad part about this is he has some family issues where his family has kind of broken up in regards to, I guess, they didn't get into what the fight was or whatever. So his father and some siblings who live in Augusta, by the way, were were watching on television and just amazed to see his son win the Masters. Wanted to get over there for the closing ceremonies for the presentation of the jacket. Didn't have a ticket and what have you. So in all of this, you hope that maybe this could be something that could bring his family back together. But what a great thing. You didn't pick him to win. I didn't pick him to win. Nobody picked this guy to win. So, and the other thing is, and I want to clarify this, is don't get caught up in that Tiger didn't have a good weekend. Yeah, on Thursday, he was 1 over, struggled a little bit in between there. Sunday, he shot a 69. So, you didn't expect Tiger to go and win the Masters, but what you did expect, and I was glad to see, he didn't, after not having a great day, he came back on Sunday and had a good day. He didn't have any pressure because he was too far back. But the point is, step by step by step, Tiger will get back. Will he get back to where he was? No, but he's going to get to a point where he's playing a lot better. So I was happy to see Tiger. I was happy to see him make the cut. So I just wanted to throw that 2 cents in about the Masters because, that was Sunday and we're Tuesday here. So also, I wanted to touch on Major League Baseball a little bit and talk about the success so far of the New York Mets. And crazy that they're getting pitching, as I told you before, they're getting starting pitching from all the guys they thought they would be getting starting pitching from. That's happening. They're getting some play out of some veteran players. I mean, you look at Adrian Gonzalez, for example, with the grand slam in Washington last weekend. And, the Mets, during those years where they couldn't beat the Braves, went to the same period where they couldn't beat the Nationals. Certainly in Washington, they couldn't beat the Nationals. Well, they took out the broom this weekend, got rid of the Washington Nationals, and I thought the move the manager made on Sunday with what's his name, had gotten on base, their star player, I'll think of his name in a second, had gotten on, I believe, in the 11th, and he was not going to give into it. He walked the next batter. He intentionally walked him. He intentionally walked the next batter to load the bases, and Lugo came in and struck out the guy to end the inning. I thought that took a lot of you-know-whats to load the bases there. Had Harper at third base with the winning run with only 1 out. That was impressive. So there's a manager, by the way, that's going by a gut and not by metrics. And not to say there's something wrong with metrics, but sometimes you got to use your gut. So the Mets right now, I believe, are 8-1. Who would have thought that I thought so, but who would have thought that the Mets would be on? And let me preface this by telling you that, we're early. We're 9 days into the season here. So I don't get crazy about a high or a low. We got a long way to go. You talking about a marathon? The baseball season's a marathon. But if you would have asked a lot of people, you wouldn't think that the Mets would be in first and the Atlanta Braves would be in second. The Braves, and Dave, if you could check the Atlanta Braves score, I think they play the Nationals today in an afternoon game. So, the Atlanta Braves are playing a little better. So some unexpected things there, and it should be good. How great would it be, though, if the Braves could be successful and the Mets could be successful and those two get that rivalry going again? That would be good for baseball. And I find personally the Washington Nationals just to be a boring team, but that's just me. Did they play today, Dave? You're going to look for me? Okay. So the Mets are gotten off to a really good start, and it'll be really interesting to see. And again, like any team, it's yeah. Go ahead.
7:05 tonight they play.
They play tonight.
Yeah, Nationals. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Was there any day baseball today or no? I don't know if the Cubs played today or
Yeah, the Cubs played.
What they do today.
They lost 8-5 to the Pirates.
Pirates are on fire too, by the way.
And they're ready to beat the White Sox 6-5.
How about that? All right, good. Good. We'll check maybe some scores at the at 6:30. See if I don't know if there'll be any games on. But anyway, it's nice to see that the Mets getting off to a good fresh start, gotten off to and if they get pitching, there's no reason why they can't contend. Absolutely no reason at all. Give us a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC. We are the voice of Central Jersey. So, and on the other spectrum here with the Yankees, I'm tired of hearing people complain that they're game under 500 and this guy's striking out and this is. And in regards to Stanton, let me remind you of something. One, he has switched leagues, okay? And he has not seen these pitchers that he's seeing. And it's also April. It's cold out. So I can't understand why Yankee fans, get uptight about that and how he's performing. I wouldn't be looking at April right now, wondering why are you in second place or at 500 or whatever. Easy. We got a long way to go. I don't start really paying attention to standings in baseball until basically July 31st is when I really start to take a look at it because we got a long way to go. We got injuries. We got this. We got that. So, but it's good for the Mets to have gotten off to a good start. This Callaway is a really good manager. I like some of the moves he's made. And sometimes you'll make those moves and they won't work out for you. But you know what? Sometimes they do. And sometimes you got to take a chance. So anyway, after the break, we got more to go over. I'm real excited. And I don't have HBO, but I'm looking forward to see it. HBO has come out with a documentary on the great Andre the Giant. Now, if you're a 70s kid like I was, and we'll talk about it later, Andre Giant was the guy. And when he would come on to World Championship Wrestling or Georgia Wrestling on Saturday nights, his opponent was never one guy. It was three guys. And at the end of the match, all three of them are pinned underneath him and with nothing to do. So just great, but a great documentary of a really big guy. And he was entertainment and wrestling well before the Vince McMahons, well before this, well before that. That's how iconic he has been in wrestling. He's old school, so to speak. And unfortunately, a guy like that at that size probably can't live a long life because of it, and hearts and your organs at that size can't just continue to function. But matter of fact, I think I printed out his Wikipedia today. I think that he was he died like in 1994 or something. I got to go back and look, but I couldn't believe how long it's been since he had been in wrestling. Matter of fact, his first one-on-one match with a guy who was a big superstar and a big guy was Hulk Hogan. That was the guy that that he would have a little rivalry with. So, and if you go on YouTube, you can see a few of their back and forth or whatever. But Andre the Giant and did some movies, all sorts of stuff. All right. When we get back, we're gonna have Chris Ryan from NJ.com. He covers the beat of the New Jersey Devils. We'll take a look at the NBA playoffs. We'll take a quick check of the roadways and weather. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday with me, John Friedman. Give me a call at 732-545-WCTC. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Brian Taylor, former NBA player for the Nets.
Don't forget to let the music go on the opening. Doesn't matter, but always let it go all the way through. In the beginning, not now. When we come back and stuff. I need it so I can read better.
We even give you a free healthy lunch. For more details, contact Joe Coyle or go to EdisonChamber.com.
Sponsored by Hackensack Meridian Hospital, JFK Medical Center, Title Boxing, Farmers Insurance, Parker, The Pines Men, and the Robert Wood Johnson Fitness and Wellness Center.
Hi, it's Bert Barron, inviting you to join me every Saturday morning at 8 for JFK Spotlight on Health. Each week, I'm joined by one of the medical professionals, surgical specialists, or program managers from JFK Medical Center or the JFK Johnson Rehabilitation Institute to discuss treatment options, preventative care, and ways to help you maintain a high quality of life. This could be the healthiest 30 minutes of your entire week. It's JFK Spotlight on Health every Saturday morning at 8 here on 1450 WCTC.
Checking WCTC traffic. Still an accident in East Brunswick on Riders Lane southbound near Middletown Road, blocking a lane. Parkway northbound really slow, 144 to 147. 287 southbound, solid exit 17 to 12. Did you know that 1 in 6 Americans struggles with hunger? Visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Together, we're Feeding America. Right now in New Brunswick, cloudy skies, 48 degrees. Susie Cerrone, WCTC traffic update.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. Patchy clouds around early this evening, otherwise turning out mainly clear, though chilly. Overnight lows at 30 to 35. Much nicer tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny. We get all the way into the mid-50s. And on Thursday, warmer yet, partly sunny, turning breezy. High 65 to 70. I'm meteorologist Ken Elliott on 1450 WCTC.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Tuesday. Give me a call on the Ocean County College call-in line. That's 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC. And speaking of the Ocean County call-in line is Chris Ryan. He's with NJ Advance Media. You and I know it better as NJ.com and the Star Ledger. Chris, welcome back to Talking Sports on a Tuesday.
Hey, Jonathan.
How are you, buddy? I know you're excited now. The Devils have clinched that 8th spot in the Eastern Conference, and they're kind of playing, they're in a good spot right now as a team and how they're playing. So I wanted to go over, get your thoughts about how the regular season went in your mind and what you're looking like, what they're looking like, and what you think could happen, or what we should look for in the series with Tampa Bay starting on Thursday night.
You just touched on it there. I mean, their regular season went pretty much as well as could be expected. A lot of people picked them to finish near the bottom of the standing, kind of down in the Eastern Conference again. But from the start, really on through the end of the year, they kind of proved that wrong, and were, like you said, able to clinch that playoff spot and get back in for the first time in 6 seasons, which pretty remarkable to them, just given the expectations of being able to kind of outplay them and play as well as they did down the stretch to get into the postseason.
And of course, if you could touch on, I went back and looked. I think the Devils got the better end of the Taylor Hall deal. Would you say?
It's hard to disagree with that. No, he has put together an MVP caliber team, setting career highs in goals, points, assists. I mean, he's going to be in the conversation for that award when the voting comes down to it in June. And I mean, you don't trade for that caliber of player any day of the week, regardless of what you're giving up. So, I mean, he's the big reason why they're in the spot they are. Without him, they're definitely not in the postseason.
It's really unbelievable, and I didn't even know. I mean, I'm sure it's been talked about. I'm sure you mentioned it in your articles that, and I don't know why I didn't think of it, that he is a serious contender for the MVP award. That's saying so much. And I believe he's the first of 4. He's one of 4 Devils that have had 94 points or whatever and above, even going back to the Colorado Rockies.
Oh yeah, he finished. He was 3 shy of Patrick Elliott's team record of 96 points. He finished with 93. So I mean, it's a mark that hasn't been hit in I think since the 2008-2009 season when Zach Parise did it. And I mean, these seasons don't come along every so often for the Devils. And I mean, just for him to be able to get that kind of production just with such a young team around him. I mean, he finished, I believe it was 41 points ahead of Nico Hischier for second on the team. So he really carried it.
Wow.
A lot of their play. And I mean, that's why Martin was the biggest in the league, and that's why he's in the conversation for MVP.
Let me ask you, and this kind of happened toward the latter part of the season, is Kincaid the guy in goal?
It looks like he's going to be. I mean, they wanted to Corey Schneider that chance back once he kind of rehabbed from injury and got a couple games under his belt, but Kincaid gave him another tool just with the way he played. He was the better goalie down the stretch, and he earned every minute he got. And it's hard to imagine just with the way he played to get them into the postseason that they're going to turn away from him, at least to start the series. I'd imagine he'll be the one in net on Thursday for game 1.
Yeah, he was amazing, by the way, down the stretch. I mean, he really, as an influence that Hall had, he had just as big of an influence down the stretch. And I remember what was really big was the back-to-back weekend. When they went to, I guess would they go to Pittsburgh and then went to and then came home to Tampa and played back-to-back. That's a tough thing to do and play well.
Road trip for them. They were on the road for 12 days in a row, and then they had to turn around and come back and play at home against Tampa, the best team in the East, off of no days of rest, and they were able to win both those games, both pretty impressive in their fashion. And
Yeah, and I also looked at too, by the way, I thought a turning point, although very late in the season, but still a turning point that we may be able to look at the end of the playoffs was the win in Montreal, down 2-1 in the third period, got that thing tied up, and then they scored that winning goal late in the third. I thought that was a really big moment about 2 Sundays ago.
Yeah, that was another back-to-back for them coming off a win the night before in New Jersey. So whenever you're on the road playing that back-to-back kind of game, it's always tough to travel and play that on that short of a turnaround. It's kind of tough to get your legs under you, but certainly not their best game on paper, but they were able to find a way to win, which is the most important thing at that point of the season, and another reason why that they're sitting where they are today.
That's called young legs, by the way. So let's talk about Tampa. Now, mentally, because the Devils are a young team, you get concerned. They swept Tampa Bay this year. How does that affect going into this series? Is it good or bad? Does it give them confidence? What do you think?
I think it certainly has to give them confidence. I mean, in each of their 3 games spread out over the course of the year, they were able to get to their game, play their style, and that's why they were able to come out with 3 wins there. I don't think you can go into the series in any way expecting them to win 4 in a row and knock out Tampa, but I think at least knowing that this team can compete with Tampa and play their style of game and put up some goals, it's a good thing for them, and it's certainly not something that's going to hurt them going into the playoffs.
And Tampa had to play well down the stretch also because they were fighting with Boston for the 1 seed, right? So, I mean, they had to work hard at the end also, to secure their seat. I mean, they were in, but to get the 1 seed. So what do you think? Tell us about the series. What do you think? What are going to be 3 keys, 2 keys that could make the difference in this series?
Well, the one thing is going to be slowing down the top line of Tampa, which consists of another MVP candidate in Nikita Kucherov and Steven Stamkos and former Ranger JT Miller, who's now playing there after the trade deadline. The trio of them has been nearly unstoppable all year long. Kucherov finished with 100 points. Stamkos right behind him with 87, I believe. I mean, they're 2 dynamic guys, and Miller with them is a force, and that line can go off at any point, any night. And the line of Travis Zajac and his teammates are going to have to slow them down, or at least contain them to give the Devils a chance. And another thing like we kind of talked about, will be Kincaid in goal. I mean, the Lightning led the league in goals this year, scored more than 3.5 per game. They can do it with all 4 lines. And if the Devils want a chance to kind of got to keep it a little bit lower scoring, keep it in that 3-2, 4-3 range to give themselves a chance on a nightly basis.
Do you think, and I guess this is a hard thing to determine, is Kincaid on a short leash? And I don't even know what that may mean. Down 2-0, down 3-0, or whatever in the game. I mean, does he have to worry about that?
I don't think so at this point. I think he's done more than enough to earn his way back into the net, where they're not going to hit the panic button on him that quickly if he were to give up maybe 3 or 4 in game 1 or 4 or 5 or something like that. I think he's earned at least a few games here, barring some big implosion, which the way he's played, I don't see that coming in any way, shape, or form for him. He should be able to stay competitive. He'll keep the Devils in the games, and I think he's earned the right to get a few games here and definitely give himself a chance to either rebound if he does have an off night, or just to continue what he's been doing.
Well, I'm glad to hear that he would obviously have the opportunity to rebound, and if he didn't have a good game, to start another game. So let's take a look at the series. So we've got Thursday in Tampa, Saturday in Tampa, Monday, Wednesday here.
Yep, that's correct.
That's correct. And if I had to, I hate using this word. I don't like the gun to the head thing. If I had to make Chris Ryan make a bet today in Vegas or whatever, how do you see this series ending up?
I've made a formal prediction yet, but I can see that I think Tampa does end up winning the series as well as the Devils have played against them this season, and how well they played down the stretch. But I think Tampa's a little bit too deep of a team, just a little too talented. They're one of the favorites to win the cup. I do see it going 6 or 7 games because the Devils can't play with them. They can't win a few games here or there, but I think Tampa just ultimately has a little bit too much for them and can knock them off later in the series when push comes to shove. And
they're not the 1 seed for nothing, right? I mean, there's the reason they're 1 seed. So give me 2 players on the Devils, that kind of guys we haven't talked about tonight, that could be kind of wild card guys. A guy who's coming off the bench who doesn't play a lot. Is there 2 guys, 1 guy that we may be surprised about, or hey, this guy came through big time in a big moment?
Well, I think you can look at either maybe Pavel Zacher or Miles Wood, two younger guys that helped them get to the postseason. They're still young, kind of learning the league, kind of coming of their own. They had a few goals late in the season that kind of helped to push the Devils over the edge. And they're two guys that are capable of putting up offense, playing well when they're confident playing that way. Just a matter of them finding that groove. And I think they did so enough down the stretch in the regular season to kind of give them an opportunity to keep that going in the playoffs. And one other guy who maybe might not be on anyone's radar at this point just because he hasn't played is Marcus Johansson.
I was going to ask you about him.
Who is still recovering from a concussion, hasn't played since January 23rd.
Wow.
He seems to be very close in terms of his progress. He's practicing with the team. He's just waiting for full clearance and for him to feel 100% confident where he's at. And if he's ready to go, he could be another guy that, even though he hasn't played, he can jump into the lineup. And he's another elite player that could add another boost, even though he hasn't played for quite some time.
Do you have to set your roster in the beginning of a series and leave it there, or can you switch it by game of who's eligible or not eligible, or how does that work? In other words, if he's not in the first,
Yeah, I believe they'll have the flexibility to get him in because they're carrying more than the 23 right now. So
got it.
I don't think that'll be an issue at any point if he's not ready to go for game one.
That's great, and he's a quality veteran, which is somebody you need now. But if the Devils were not to win this series, it's okay. It's all part of the process, of building the franchise back. And one of that steps is having a good regular season and getting into the playoffs. And the pressure's on Tampa Bay; it's not on New Jersey, so it could be a really great series.
Yeah, definitely good. The Devils, even if they may not win, they're here to win. They're not going into this just looking for a participation trophy. They have every intention of going into Tampa, winning some games, and moving on to the next round. So it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility for them. They've played well enough all year, especially against good teams. They seem to elevate their game. So they're not going to be an easy out by any means, and they definitely do have the capability of winning a few and potentially knocking off Tampa too.
That would be great. All right, Chris, let's do this. If we can get by this series, we'll see you in the next series. How's that sound? You got it, buddy. Thanks for joining us. All right. We'll hear from NBC Radio News. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday with me on the voice of Central Jersey. I'm John Friedman. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jonathan Friedman. You might know me as the host of Talking Sports on WCTC, but I do.
How'd that sound? Is that all right?
Very good.
Yeah.
That was all. I like it.
Yeah.
Public relations
Wow.
Parsippany. And I'd like to tell you about how SCG can help advertisers reach their potential customers in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world. There are so many options, from all the traditional media to the practically limitless digital and social platforms that are available, making it harder than ever for businesses to get their message in front of the right audience. Well, at SCG, we help our clients strengthen their relationships, reputations, and brands by integrating their message across the entire media spectrum. We understand the options available to advertisers, and we will work with you to determine the best creative and media plan for your business. So learn more about SCG advertising and public relations by visiting scgadd.com. That's scgadd.com. We'll help you reach your potential customers all of them.
Got it. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
NBC News Radio. I'm Tom Roberts. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says his company is cooperating with Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election.
I actually am not aware of a subpoena. I believe that there may be, but I know we're working with them.
In a Senate hearing today, Zuckerberg called it confidential and did not elaborate. The White House is not ruling anything out in response to chemical weapons attacks in Syria. In a daily briefing, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said President Trump spoke with British Prime Minister Theresa May, and both leaders condemned the attacks by government forces. White House Press Secretary Sanders says the U.S. is encouraged by China's latest statements on trade, but wants to see concrete steps taken to address unfair practices. Sanders cited the words used by Chinese President Xi Jinping in a speech where he talked about opening that country's economy. That speech by the Chinese president is rallying Wall Street today. The Dow soared 429 points. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
As you get older, there are so many decisions to make around your legal, financial, and tax planning needs. Medina Law is the only place where you can secure your total.
Have a great night.
One-stop shop for your estate, retirement, and tax planning needs. With over 15 years of experience and more financial credentials than you can shake a stick at, Victor Medina and his team offer a way to cover all of your planning needs under one roof. Whether you're concerned about getting your ducks in a row or securing your nest egg or both, Medina Law Group can give you the peace of mind you deserve. Call the experienced professionals at Medina Law Group at 609-818-0068 to learn more, including your chance to schedule a free consultation. You can also visit MedinaLawGroup.com to learn more about protecting your assets and the Medina Law Group team.
Hey everybody, it's Victor Medina. I'm the host of the Vacant Last Radio Show. You know, the deadline to file your taxes is looming, and this week I'll teach you 10 ways your retirement income gets taxed. Learn all of them this Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. on Vacant Last, where we help you keep your legal ducks in a row and your financial nest egg secure.
If you're in the construction industry, the Atlantic Builders Convention on April 11th and 12th at the Atlantic City Convention Center is for you. Hosted by the New Jersey Builders Association, it's the #1 trade show and conference for the home building industry in the Northeast and is the must-attend event for everyone affiliated with construction. The Atlantic Builders Convention is the trade show for builders, remodelers, and suppliers. From the accredited educational courses to the thousands of attendees, the hundreds of exhibitors showcasing innovative products and services, as well as hands-on product demonstrations and energizing networking events. This is the can't-miss trade show for the construction industry. Be sure to stop by the Beasley Media Radio booth, too. Admission to the Atlantic Builders Convention Exhibit Hall is just $45. To register or for more information, visit abconvention.com. That's abconvention.com. The Atlantic Builders Convention, April 11th and 12th at the Atlantic City Convention Center, where building begins.
Where can you go to get both selection and service from people who care about your pet as much as you do? Katie's Pet Depot on Route 130 in North Brunswick. Katie's carries only the finest foods for your best friends. In fact, at Katie's, you can buy every imaginable premium pet supply, product, food, and more. If you're looking for something and you can't find it at Katie's, they will get it for you. Check the schedule at Katie'sPetDepotNewJersey.com for the low-cost clinics this month hosted by VIP Healthcare and Pet Adoptions. Come to Katie's for all your dog grooming needs, and they also do small animal nail trimming, reptile nails, big nails, and wings. You simply won't find that at bigger retail stores. Katie's Pet Depot, the place where animals really do come first, on Route 130 in North Brunswick next to ShopRite. Call 732-442-0056. 732-422-0056.
Checking WCTC traffic, the accident in East Brunswick on Riders Lane southbound near Milltown Road's been cleared. Delays on the Parkway in both directions. Parkway southbound is slow 142 to 136. Parkway northbound slow 144 to 147. Did you know that 1 in 6 Americans struggles with hunger? Visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Together, we're Feeding America. Right now in New Brunswick, cloudy and 48 degrees. Susie Sorrell, WCTC traffic update.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. After a chilly start to our weekend, a chilly night ahead as our skies turn out mainly clear, low 30 to 35. We've got nicer weather for the rest of the week. For tomorrow, sunshine, a few fair weather clouds, and a high near 55 or so. Then much milder by Thursday, becoming partly sunny and breezy, high 65 to 70. I'm Ken Elliott on 1450 WCTC.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Tuesday on 1450. The voice of Central Jersey. Give me a call at on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC. The voice of Central Jersey. All right, I just wanted to quickly touch on that Andre the Giant documentary tonight on HBO. I don't have HBO, so somehow I got to watch this. Tonight at, I believe, 10 o'clock, going through the life. And Bill Simmons, the former guy at ESPN, I don't know, I think he's at Fox now. He put together this documentary. It's supposed to be really fabulous. I saw the trailer for it. And as I said earlier, when you were a kid in the 70s and wrestling was a big deal, and being from Atlanta, Georgia, every Saturday night we had WCW, whatever wrestling, Georgia Championship Wrestling. He was always the guy who was always going to be on. If he wasn't on one Saturday, he was on the next, every other one. And obviously he was always the main card guy. It would be the last fight of the night. And again, it was not against one guy. It was usually either against like 5 midgets. I'm not kidding you, about 5 midgets or 3 heavyweight type other wrestlers. And he was just, at the end of the day, some of the people he'd just throw off him and what have you. Referees, he'd throw out the ring. And at the end of the day, if it was 3 guys, all 3 guys were being pinned at the same time. So just an iconic wrestling guy. He weighed 400 some odd pounds and moved pretty good. And supposedly, and you'll see this on this documentary, he had a hand. And I have a decent sized hand, and I'm not a big guy, but a decent sized hand. Yeah, his hand was about 5 of mine. I mean, he was just absolutely huge. Dave, did you get a chance to ever see Andre the Giant wrestle?
At the end of his career, I saw, yeah.
And he suffered, they said, at his end of the career. That he shouldn't have been wrestling, kind of thing.
I read that earlier,
Yeah, moving kind of slow, but what a career. And your organs, your hearts at that size, it can't last forever. I mean, and you feel bad for him. He had such pain. I guess they had pain medications, but they said he became a big drinker, not because of wanting to drink or that his pain was so bad. And they showed a picture of him also on flights where he had 2 seats on the flight. I mean, he was that big. So iconic guy. I'm glad HBO and Bill Simmons put this together because he deserves it. He really does. He really deserves it. And in a lot of movies too. He was in Princess Bride, but he was in a lot of different movies. He even played Bigfoot on the $6 Million Man. So, and I specifically remember that one. Anyway, so I thought I'd just kind of throw that out to you and talk about Andre the Giant, big part of my childhood. I was looking through the New York Post on last Friday, and it was really nice. They have a section besides the sports section. If you're a sports fan and you like to know what's on TV and stuff, they have a section that just comes out with every day, has pictures and everything. So it was nice to see. For example, they give the listings of anything on TV sport-wise. And tonight they got some good games on. You got Celtics, Wizards. To either one of these teams, it doesn't matter. They're both set in their seeds. Boston, the 2 seed. I believe Washington right now is the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. So it's a game, but you'll see a lot of guys resting in that game. The same thing with the Rockets and Lakers on TNT tonight. Rockets certainly probably won't be playing everybody as the 1 seed. You got the Yankees at the Red Sox tonight. You got the hot Mets at the Marlins later tonight. And on MLB Network, you got the Athletics at Dodgers. I told you how I feel about interleague baseball. I don't like it. Now, if it's LA and LA, I'm okay with that. But Oakland and the Dodgers and what have you. And I don't like that some teams, by the way, I think the Pittsburgh Pirates opened up with Minnesota, don't have opening day with interleague baseball. I just can't stand that. I wish they'd get rid of that because I would rather you play your team in your division in September. I think those games are way more important. I'm just trying to look at Wednesday night TV tomorrow night. Knicks and Cavs, who cares? Nets and Celtics. Now, it does matter the Cavaliers. They're trying to get that 3 seed over Philadelphia. And we'll talk about the Sixers in a second. ESPN tomorrow night, you got Bucks at Sixers and Jazz and Trailblazers. And then tomorrow night, you got Minnesota and Denver playing, both vying for the 8th seed in the Western Conference. Whoever wins, that's going. Now, Johnny wants the Minnesota Timberwolves to go to the playoffs because his team, the Atlanta Hawks, own their first-round pick. And if Minnesota doesn't get that pick, it doesn't make the playoffs, then Atlanta loses that pick. So let's hope that, for my sake, or Atlanta's sake, or the Hawks' sake, that that Minnesota does make the playoffs. Dave, we got time for me to kind of go through some basketball, some NBA. Okay, great. So right now we got Toronto, who's the 1 seed in the East, and the playoffs will start this coming weekend. They got a tough opening match. They've got the Wizards, who right now is the 8th seed and probably will end up being the 8th seed. So you got Washington and Toronto. That's a tough series, especially with Washington's 2 guards. You're going to have Boston, the 2 seed, playing Miami. Boston got a big break there. And as you know, Kyrie Irving is not in the playoffs. He's done for the year. So if you think about it, Boston lost 2/5 of their starting lineup this season. So Going to be a very tough season, tough series though for Boston. It'll be a tough. Now here's the sexy story that everybody's fallen in love with, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers. The Philadelphia 76ers right now are 20 games over 500. I believe they've won 14 in a row. They're in Atlanta, I believe, tonight. That's going to be 15 in a row. And they're doing this with Embiid, who has a broken bone or in his eye, who I believe is playing in the playoffs, but they're shutting him down for the rest of the season. They've done this without him. So that's a great thing for them. They're playing good. And I'm hearing people talking about they could go to the NBA finals and what have you. Easy, not so fast, because one, they got to play Milwaukee. If it ended today, they'd play the Milwaukee Bucks, who that's a tough out. Two, they do avoid Cleveland on the way into it. They would get to an Eastern Conference. Playing great in the regular season is one thing. In the NBA, things change. Like in the NHL, things change in the playoffs. It's not the same. So we'll see what Phil, and they're young. But I'll tell you what, and here's my prediction. Philadelphia is so loaded, right? They're loaded. They got good young players. They did it right. It took a while. They got a whole bunch of first-round picks over the last 4 or 5 years. It's come together. They're playing well. Here's the thing. Everybody keeps talking about LeBron going to the Lakers. How about LeBron to Philadelphia? If LeBron goes to Philadelphia next season with the roster they have now, forget it. They will be the representative of the Eastern Conference next season. No doubt about it. With this Ben Simmons guy, this is his rookie year because he missed a lot of last year. The kid can play. I mean, he's amazing. He's a big guy, can dribble, can do everything. So remember I told you that could be a sleeper where LeBron, because I don't think LeBron's going to stay in Cleveland. So we've got Philadelphia would be playing Milwaukee and Cleveland and Indiana. Now, even Indiana-Cleveland's a great series because Indiana, a bunch of no names that'll just get a lot out of their players. So if anything, it'll add some stress. It'll tire Cleveland out a little bit. So, and I've made it clear, I don't want to see Cleveland and Golden State in the finals. Nothing against those teams. I need some freshness. Like you, let's see something. Let's get something else going in the NBA, because all that does is bring excitement to the NBA. And nothing against LeBron. He just won his 10th straight division title. I mean, not that the division means that much, but his 10th straight going back to Miami. And the guy's amazing. I mean, he's carrying the Cavaliers right now. And I always do MVPs based on how would the team do without the main guy who's trying to be the MVP. And we all know Cleveland would not make the playoffs without LeBron. Now, if LeBron's going to have to score 40 a game, 35 a game, they're not going to win. They won't get through the conference. He's going to need some help. So I'm just not confident they have the personnel to get them to the next step. So it should be rather interesting. And when we come back, we'll take a look at Major League Baseball also, and we'll take your calls. We'll take a quick check of the roadways and weather. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday with me, John Friedman. Give me a call at 732-545-WCTC. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jonathan Friedman. You might know me as the host of Talking Sports on WCTC, but I do have a day job. I'm the Business Development Director at SCG Advertising and Public Relations in Parsippany, and I'd like to tell you about how SCG can help advertisers reach their potential customers in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world. There are so many options, from all the traditional media to the practically limitless digital and social platforms that are available, making it harder than ever for businesses to get their message in front of the right audience. Well, at SCG, we help our clients strengthen their relationships, reputations, and brands by integrating their message across the entire media spectrum. We understand the options available to advertisers, and we will work with you to determine the best creative and media plan for your business. So learn more about SCG Advertising and Public Relations by visiting scgadv.com. That's scgadv.com. We'll help you reach your potential customers, all of them.
Every Thursday at 6 p.m., tune into All Access with State Theater, New Jersey.
The radio show that brings you the best arts and entertainment news from right here in Central Jersey.
You'll hear artist interviews, updates on what's new and exciting in arts and live entertainment, and hear about upcoming events that you just can't miss.
This week on All Access, we talk with actors from the upcoming touring production of The Wizard of Oz.
It's All Access with State Theater, New Jersey.
It's All Access with State Theater, New Jersey.
Thursdays at 6 on the New Talk Radio 1450 WCTC.
When something is this good,
Every day, this gets better.
Rich Eisen is here.
I'm Rich Eisen, and I have my own show.
It's the Rich Eisen Show.
Let's not do. There you go.
You want NFL talk?
He is like the Rain Man of football.
Check. You want celebs in studio?
Jonathan Tucker and everybody Paul Rudd.
Bam! You want a swift kick in the ass? Got carried away. The Rich Eisen Show is here.
Weekdays at noon on 1450 WCTC.
Checking WCTC traffic, Parkway northbound packed 144 to 147 and sluggish on the Parkway southbound 142 down to 136. Extensive delay still on Route 18 southbound from College Avenue right into Old Bridge Turnpike. Food, water, medical care, education, and more is what you'll give to a child in poverty. Release a child from poverty at compassion.com/radio. Right now in New Brunswick, cloudy skies, 48 degrees. Susie Cerrone, WCTC traffic update.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. Patchy clouds around early this evening, otherwise turning out mainly clear, though chilly. Overnight lows at 30 to 35. Much nicer tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny. We get all the way into the mid-50s. Then on Thursday, warmer yet, partly sunny, turning breezy. High 65 to 70. I'm meteorologist Ken Elliott on 1450 WCTC.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Tuesday. Give me a call on the Ocean County College call-in line. That's 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC. So, Dave, did we give away that family 4-pack to Somerset Patriot baseball? I think it was to the fourth caller.
We did.
Who got those?
Joe and Edison.
Joe and Edison. Well, congratulations, Joe and Edison. Thank you for calling. And as the Patriots will start, I think they have a fan fest this weekend. I believe they'll start like in 2 weeks or April 20th or whatever. And the 27th. Okay, great. And what's going to happen is I looked at their schedule for like Tuesday nights, most of the season, a lot of the season. So the show will be coming to you not at 6 like usual. We'll go from 5:30 and we'll lead you into Somerset Patriot baseball this season. So real excited about that. Let's quickly just take a quick look at the Western Conference in the NBA. I didn't go through that, but real quickly, Houston's going to win that conference, and they're going to take on either Minnesota or Denver. And we spoke about that a few minutes ago, that the winner of that game tomorrow night between those two will go to the playoffs. So Houston will play the winner of that. Golden State, the hobbling Golden State Warriors, will play Oklahoma City Thunder. Now that, Dave, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. So, and you know what? In that scenario, Russell Westbrook, it's time for your team to get to the next step. You've been complaining. They got your players and everything. Let's see what your veteran team can do in the playoffs, and maybe they could knock out Golden State. We'll see. We got Portland, the no-name Portland Trailblazers. They'll be taking on the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio just gets it done. It's crazy. And then we got in the 4-5 spot, we got the Utah Jazz. How many players can you name from the Utah Jazz? We'll be playing the Pelicans of New Orleans. So NBA playoffs this year, I think, is going to be very unique and very different. And we could have some surprises along the way, which would really, really be great for the NBA and great for and just great for fans and basketball. So I don't know if anybody noticed, and it's kind of quiet and what have you, is Odell Beckham. And I don't think the Giants had a quote-unquote an official mini camp, but was spotted at the Giants complex working out. Do I have a feeling his agent told him, shut up, let's get to mini camp, let's get through this training camp, catch balls when the season starts, and they will be begging the Giants to sign you. And I have a feeling I'm going to give his agent the benefit of the doubt that he told him, no more talking. Don't talk at all. If the media guy asks you a question, let my agent handle that. I got to believe that's what's happening. So good to see if you're a Giants fan, because you don't want to lose Beckham. And you don't want to lose him for 2 first-round picks. You know, Eli is the guy, and you want to kind of win when he's there. Now, the Giants are an interesting situation with that 2 pick. And I heard the running back from USC came to town yesterday, and the Giants were crazy about him. Barkley, absolutely crazy about him. Did the Giants think in their heads, maybe we got 2-3 years out of Eli. We got Odell. We could draft this running back, and we could save it for, or maybe get a quarterback down in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th rounds. Are they thinking that way? And if they are, it's an interesting way to look. Or maybe they take an offensive lineman, a guard for that they could have for the next 10 years. The Giants going to be very key in this upcoming draft. They really will. And the Jets are under a lot of pressure. Not pressure isn't, but whoever they select in that 3rd spot, I think they know who they want. That's number 1. But 2, you better hit a home run. This is an important draft for the New York Jets, one they cannot screw up on. They got a few first-round picks, and they got to get it right. So I wouldn't want to be the GM there. That's a lot of pressure. So we'll see what happens. The NFL draft is coming up, so it should be real good. And then you're going to have mini camps. And before you know it, I mean, gosh, this is already April. It's April 10th already. So that's how quick the time is flying by. And before you know it, we'll be getting pumped up for September 1 for football. I know I will be. Let's take a quick look at the Major League standings in baseball. Not that I, love doing this right now because it's just so early, but Boston's gotten off to a good start in the American League East at 8-1. Toronto 7. I'm surprised about Toronto at 7-4. The Yankees at 5-5. Yankee fans, stop complaining. Stop making a big deal. You're at 500. Stop complaining about Stanton. It's April. Stop paying attention to it. It's not important. Start paying attention in July. Not now. It's just not that important. You panic like unbelievable. And don't worry. At the end of the day, you'll be very happy with Stanton. I can promise you'll be very happy with him. And don't forget, he's facing pitchers he's never seen before. He's got to go around the league once to get a feel for some of these guys. So don't worry. It'll all work out. In the Central, in the American League, Cleveland at 5. Boy, that doesn't look like a good division right now. Cleveland at 5-5, Minnesota 4-4, Detroit 4-5, Kansas City 3-5, and the White Sox are 3-6. Again, let's not pay too much of attention about it, but and Cleveland will probably win that division. But we'll see. I think I picked Minnesota to win that division. In the American League West, Houston, no surprise there, 9-2, followed by the Angels. And how about, is it Asani? Is that how you pronounce that guy? Is that how you pronounce his name? Ohtani. What a player he is. He bats, he pitches, he plays the outfield. Gosh, that's just great. That's a tool. That's a true 5-tool guy. So the Angels at 8-3, Seattle 4-4, Oakland at 4-7, and the Texas coming in at 4-8. In the National League, the Mets at 8-1, followed by Johnny's Atlanta Braves at 6-4. Washington 5-5, Philadelphia 4-5, and the lowly Marlins. Going to be a long year for the Marlins, but they're doing it the right way. 3-7 in the Central. Pittsburgh Pirates have gotten off to a nice start at 7-2. The Cubs at 5-4, followed by Milwaukee. I like the Milwaukee Ball Club, by the way. I think I picked them. Milwaukee 6-5, St. Louis 4-6, and Cincinnati 2-7. Boy, what happened to the Cincinnati Reds? You talk about a franchise. They haven't done anything, won a division or anything since like 95. It's been a long time. In the West, Arizona, no surprise, at 8-2. Colorado 5-6. San Francisco 4-5. The Dodgers 3-6. That's a little bit of a surprise. And San Diego at 3-8. So again, Yankee fans, you can't get into this panic mode. You're booing a guy. Opening day, strikes out 5 times. It's going to happen. By the way, if you look, power hitter strike out plenty. That's what they do. Sometimes they hit home runs. Sometimes I'm not saying they're all Dave Kingman, but don't worry and don't panic. They're going to be fine. Their shortstop's great. And the beautiful thing about the Yankees is, they're going to acquire players. They'll go out and get a starter. I see that Santana is already on the DL. Is that his name, Santana? The heavy-set guy, the pitcher. What's his name? Sabathia. Sorry. Sabathia is already on the deal. But don't worry about the Yankees. And I never take the violin out for the Yankees anyway. So, but it's baseball season's going to be good this year. And it always gets down to starting pitching and injuries. So those are the 2 top key things. And anyway, all right, looks like we're coming to the end of this week's show. We'll see you Thursday on our sister station. As always, I hope your team wins. I want to thank Dave Race behind the glass and making it happen. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank our callers. And I especially want to thank you, the listeners. You've been listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday. I'm John Friedman. Have a great week, everybody.
secure from Top Therapy Cancer Treatment Studios. This is 1450 WCTC, New Brunswick, a Beasley Media Group station.
NBC News Radio, I'm Brian Shook. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says it's not enough to just connect people through the social network.
That's good, yeah.
Zuckerberg made the comment during a
That's
Senate
good,
hearing
yeah.
today over several missteps at Facebook, including a massive misuse of user data and the spread of phony news and propaganda. He described Russia's ongoing efforts to mess with U.S. elections as an arms race.
Facebook people, thank you for watching. Need your support as always. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Information operations in 2016.
Zuckerberg said Facebook is working aggressively to prepare for November's midterm elections. He stressed that Facebook is more keenly aware of efforts to spread misinformation on social media platforms. President Trump is going to keep all options available for dealing with Syria. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders today said President Trump is not ruling anything out when it comes
We'll
to
see you Thursday night from the sister station WMTR 1250 out of Morristown. Have a great week, everybody.
To oversee the response to Syria. Investors are breathing a bit easier today after a speech by Chinese President Xi Jinping eased